There've been two or three of them now.
Can I see it?
Let's see.
Yeah. But you have the peeper's look, especially with the glasses on. But I mean, he made $1 jillion
Did he?
with that look. And as he got older, he turned gray. But the kids didn't want to see him with gray hair. So he started dyeing his hair. And so, I mean, for 20, 30 years he was on TV, and he never had any gray hair. And so they just, generation of kids after kids, you know. Yeah.
All right, we're going to start the 2-minute.
Okay.
So this is a 2-minute drill.
Everybody gets
in the red zone. 2-minute drill. We're gonna punch. Yeah.
Everybody gets 2 minutes, and I'm timing.
All right, everybody get their thoughts. 2 minutes. I'll take notes. And then,
Okay. Which is this?
Escore.com.
Escore.
Okay.
The viewer, the online viewer.
Okay,
All right, I'm
Jed.
going to take notes, everybody.
Jed is starting us, and then Adam, do you want to go after Jed?
Yeah, sure.
And what about you? Do you want to go after Joe?
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, just somebody go. I mean, just
Okay. All
let's
right.
start.
Okay, so if both things worked out, he would look at getting 500k for his 90,000 investment up front. If the software package, he would get a third of 450, but he would have to put in another 25. So that's obviously a much lesser return. And then 300k over 3 for the license viewer. The expansion at 450 would double his investment or double the value of the business. So that was pretty smart. And then if he put in another 250k, if it was successful by another 17%, then that would take him as the majority owner.
So what is he trying to do? I mean, what's the base? What's he trying to accomplish?
He wants to get his money to double or to get.
No. But I mean, what is he investing in? I mean, what is?
He's investing in an idea with two guys that this is their last chance. It's this.
It's the last chance hotel, the last chance bar, and the last town, and the world is flat. And so,
And he's sitting on this debate whether to put in the extra money he doesn't think is worth it, but he hasn't made a play to
but
say.
his gut instinct says no.
Yeah, his gut instinct says no, but there's no. He hasn't gone back to them and said, "Look, this is your last chance. I want my 60,000 instead of my 75."
Well, my understanding was that he had given up on the idea because he couldn't get his money back. But when he went for dinner with his friends, they gave him additional ideas.
Oh, these are his friends.
Yes.
That's a mistake already. Okay. You don't invest with friends. You don't go into business with friends.
Well, they're kind of on the same level as him. They're investors. They're venture capitalist friends. So they're definitely people who have some knowledge on what deals are. And so they gave him some really good ideas that he could, that made him decide that he'll look at the business again and invest more time doing the research.
Okay.
Sorry, that's your turn.
Okay. First of all, this is a bullshit deal for the investor because he's putting in 100% of the money when they have no other options, and he's taking 30% of the company. He should put in 100% of the money, take 100% of the company, and...
That's exactly what I just told the group. The different deal.
Yeah.
And they expect these doctors to put up 100% of the money and only take 30% of the deal. And I said, what are you smoking? Okay.
Okay. And the way that the founders get their equity back is through clawbacks and milestones, and when they hit
making hurdle rates, etc.
So the developers are employees?
Yeah, well, he's putting up 100% of they can't go anywhere else, yeah. So they're employees, but they're going to be able to claw back their equity and stuff. Secondly, I don't see that they have a complete founding team in place to make this work, because what I think they need to do is I don't think they need 6 months. I think they need 2 weeks, because I think they need to go to large recording studios and basically pre-sell this technology with the value proposition that if you're Geffen Records or whoever, and you have all these studio musicians working for you, their studio musicians can then use this technology to communicate with each other over the internet, and thereby decrease the need for being in the same physical location. That's what I see the value proposition as. So whether you want to get to the recording studios directly by pre-selling them, or whether you want to basically pre-sell the studio musicians and say, okay, now you need to go to the recording studios that you're under contract with and tell them about this technology. They need to start locking down some of these large corporate clients The other thing that they can do is they can go to, I don't know, like the Smithsonian type place with that has all these historical archives of sheet music, and they can say, okay, we want to put your music on our platform, and we want to have your name. You can sponsor us in this way and work out some kind of royalty deal. But I don't think they need all this shit, and I think the investor's totally getting fucked, and he's not being nearly as aggressive as he should be.
Okay.
I think one of the hurdles is is my time started?
Yep.
Okay, so I think one of the hurdles is testing the website, which I think they need 4 months to test the website. I think they can do it in a couple days. This was 2001, so it was probably the technology didn't exist to test it fast, but that was one piece that investor wanted, was a beautiful website. But they could test that out very, very fast and not need 4 to 5 months to do that. So,
Does it say how much the website is going to cost to make? They don't list that.
Okay.
Bundled it in with the
They just thought that would be a good idea to go ahead on.
but we could test whether users
Yeah.
like the website or not very, very fast and take that off the equation. The other is Adobe. I think Adobe was pretty big at that time. They could license this technology to Adobe because Adobe has a whole music suite, and they could sell this license to Adobe. So those are my 2 ideas.
Okay, are you ready?
Bill, what do you think?
Looking at the EBITDA constantly increase month by month, I think it's a good deal.
If that's true. Okay. And you, Rose?
And for me, I like the idea of putting the 300 for the website, because Bernard still gets 1/3 of whatever that of the 300, whatever he puts up. And I also like the idea that Bokacek, said to take control of the company, to add more into the company, so that if he gets 250,000 to buy 17,000 of the company, he can make the big decisions.
Wait a minute. To buy 17% of the company, or 17? You said
Add additional 17, so he gets 50. He will have 50% of the share. So he has a controlling decision of the company, whether to go from expansion or to all the way to buyout, whether to expand it or then to buy out, and he'll probably get his money back.
Who has the authority to close this deal down?
Bernard.
Not yet. The investor doesn't yet, though.
Yeah, he does.
He does. He already put up
If
the
he doesn't
money.
give them money, they're fucked.
Yeah.
He has the default authority.
Because this is the last saloon and the last
Yes.
town in the deal.
Yeah, he already put 1/3 with 90,000. So he does have the some level of
Well, he hasn't put that in yet, but that's what they want him to do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what they want to do,
worth
but yeah, he didn't think it was worth it. That's why his friends gave him those additional ideas, and so.
So when you say the friends give him additional ideas, give him additional ideas to convince him more to put
To
the money
expand,
up?
to either expand, to buy out. The last guy, Burkhoff, wanted him to get control so he can make those decisions on a higher level. With the agreements in place that he owns, most of the company. So
But
he
this
can do
whole
whatever.
thing is $100,000, right? Or less?
90.
Okay. And did they talk about shareholders agreements and lawyers or anything like that?
Oh, the deal is it's 90. There's no cash flow. It's just one lump sum at the end. The deal is he puts in 90 grand. He sells it for 500K in 6 months if it's successful, and so that's what they're basing the net present value.
Okay, and then whoever put up the 90 grand or the pro rata of that 90 gets pro rata of the 500?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then what leads anybody to believe that some schmuck's going to pay 500 based on just smoke, mirrors?
Yeah.
It's just stated.
Yeah.
A lot of these case studies are just stated with no real justification.
Okay, no. Well, and they're stated that because there is no justification, and that's why 90% of the money that goes to PE firms. Remember, the PE model is a third go bust, a third break even. They get their money back plus or minus 5%, and a third makes some money. Okay, and of that third, so on 100 deals, 33 deals, 10% or 3 deals have an opportunity to make high returns, and one of those, maybe not a Facebook, but something along the lines. But if you notice that the PE firms, the average rate of return of a PE firm is less than the S&P and the Dow now, the last 5 or 6 years, because it's getting harder and harder and harder to make those kinds of returns. And normally with a small group of 5 or 6 guys, nobody is investing really 80, 90, 100 grand anymore. Because it just, at the same time that you take to do 80, 90, 100 grand is for 3 million or 5 million. And then the quantum, and because even if this deal sold for 5 million and there was an astronomical rate of return, and if they're managing 10 billion, who cares? So at the end of the day, it's the quantum, and that's why the bigger deals are easier to sell than small deals, and that's why bigger deals are easier to fund than small deals. And you know, it's. But I mean, to me, it sounds like they ought to blow the brains out next.
Well, even if you look at this, if everything goes perfectly, he's going to get 500% return. If they have to license the viewer, he's going to break even. Because they're only going to make 300 and he only owns a third of it. And then if they license the software bundle, he's just going to break even because he's actually got to put another 25k in to get the package done. So,
well,
unless it's a home run, it doesn't work anyway.
Yeah, and their model right here, they have basically their business model on this page. It's based on 110,000 people coming to the website in basically the first month after the prototype, going up to 190 over the next 12 months. But there's no, as part of this case study at least, there's no plan to do that. It just sounds like they expect.
No funnel.
No, they got no funnel.
You mean they're gonna do it on the Rose method?
They got the alcohol up the ass funnel or whatever.
Yeah, that's the funnel. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it just seems like smoke. And so, if anything, the guy obviously he takes 100%. He should take 150. They should pay him to just be a part of this because there's no way it's going to work. And they don't have any biz dev or sales guy on the founding team.
Yeah.
It's a computer scientist and a musician.
Yeah, and that's what the concern was, that these guys don't have the ability to make management decisions. So they'd have to bring in a CEO.
Well, they could come in and recruit out of this class of hardcore, and they could get some top-notch, high-quality CEOs. I mean, we've got garage door installers. We've got guys that have been on the 1 and 2 yard line for 17 years. We've got well, anyway, you know who we've got. I'm telling you, this book about you guys, not just you guys, but I mean, almost 25 years of this, what I would think would be hilarious. It would be a comic kind of book, not a serious thing, because people wouldn't believe me the shit they would not believe the stuff I could write about. They wouldn't. The psychiatrists have passed out, hit her head on the what do you call it, post, and we just let her stay there. I wouldn't let anybody help her up. And I mean, the guy that shit his pants. I mean, they wouldn't believe.
He thanked you too after he shit his pants.
He said he put it on stationery. The Big Four stationery says, "I didn't know I was still alive till I shat myself in the seminar. I want to thank you very much, Mr. Peña. You changed my life." But I don't use that slide anymore out of deference to that Big Four. But they wouldn't believe. I wouldn't believe. Sometimes I don't believe it. I mean, it just fuck. But anyway, this guy needs a revolver.
Yeah.
Somebody ought to spend. They used to call them Saturday night specials. You could used to buy for $10-$20. Somebody ought to give the guy $10-$20 and give him a Saturday night special so he can blow his fucking brains out. Yeah.
That's the verdict that we came to.
Yeah. But in the other group, and I was going to let him present it, but at the end, it wasn't in my heart, so I had to tell him, you want these morons to assume to take their company worth something, a lot of money, for nothing, basically, and for 30% of your company, which is worth nothing, and assume all the debt. And you want a way to be able to convince the guys that are putting all this in that they're really not assuming the debt. Is that the question you're asking me? He says, yeah. And I said, well, they are assuming the debt. Even a first-year law student can figure this out, can see beyond. He says, but how would you reframe it? I said, there's no way to reframe it. The guys are giving you $10 million in assets, assuming $7 million in debt for 30% of nothing. That's the bottom line. I don't care how you twist it. Even if you put a new garage door on it, I mean, I don't care how the hell you twist it. Oh God. Anyway, no, but I think the Rose has brought up some interesting, points. But the bottom line is, the dog doesn't hunt. It doesn't,
Yeah.
It doesn't hunt. Now, how many months have these guys been involved in this?
It just says that they put a lot of work in.
They
It
do
doesn't
not.
say.
It doesn't say
They
how.
have no revenue. If that wasn't clear,
Well, the
there's no
technology's
revenue.
not even solid yet. They're not at a point where it's a solid.
Now, if these guys who came into your office trying to sell you this idea, just to say that technology, if it worked, made sense for. Okay, let's just take that leap. How long would you listen? Now you're applied though, so that's why I'm asking you. How long would you listen and allow them to continue explaining this thing to you?
I wouldn't, because they don't have a real technology yet. It says right there, we're not quite ready for the market. We need your help to get us ready. So they'd ask.
Oh, they're asking you to
They're
help
asking
them.
this guy to angel them 4 months to get the technology.
Okay, you're the
ready.
angel. You're the angel they're coming to talk.
I wouldn't
to.
angel it, no.
No.
They have
Not unless I could pre-sell it to my customers. If I could pre-sell it, I could get to 5 customers and they would say, give me 10, 10, and 10. Say, guys, you're going to be first in. It's a $50,000 technology. I'll give it. If you give me 10, then you'll be first in. That'd be the only way I would do it. If my customers would say, yeah, this is such a good idea, I'd pre-sell it.
Whether you believed in it or not? No, you wouldn't take it to them.
I'd have to believe in it.
Okay, I know. I mean, altar boy. I mean, I don't want to.
Yeah, but
put-
the point is that if they have not developed it, why would you pre-sell it? It may not work. The whole thing is.
They've got it to the APR line. They need that extra 20%. It's basically they need a viewing capability, and so if they get it that far along, and I've done that with my own customers. I have IP that I've developed to a certain point. They've pre-bought it.
That's how Musk sold his cars.
I mean, a guy said to me, "I'll give you 30 grand if you build this software for me," and I said, "I built it for 10 grand," and then I sold it back to him. I mean, that's reasonable, but it would have to be. I mean, I have to build this.
This Bill could write a book. My entire life in the. Normally, you go through the on the way to the
Goal line.
goal.
Yeah.
Entire could be in parentheses, parenthetic. My entire life in the instead of my.
Right. My moments in the
Yeah,
my red
year
zone
by
moments
year.
Oh God, unbelievable. Okay, well, I mean, you got it. This one figured out.
But I liked
So
what
next,
Adam said, because he said that we could test it faster. Instead of doing it 6 months, if we shorten that time and use real, people
Yeah,
like
but
you
I
say.
mean, this I wouldn't go through the hurdle of testing it because if the dog doesn't hunt, you piss on it. I mean,
You lose the money.
yeah.
And these guys couldn't do that, what I said to do anyways, because it's a computer scientist and a musician. Maybe the musician could, if he went to some of the studios, but there's no biz dev plan or development or anything, so.
I think the smartest guy in this deal is the VC friend who told him that he would pay for dinner
The guy who's not
if
in
he
the
gave him the
deal.
deal, just
Yeah.
to trick fuck him into getting the other guy to pay for the dinner.
Yeah.
Smart.
And these guys aren't British.
No, definitely not.
How do you know that?
Oh, one guy's Bernard, he might be French. And there's a Suarez in there. But no, it's not British. Okay, so next case?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then one of you, you're going to come up and present it, and but don't leave your conclusion. Don't tell the conclusion, because then I'm going to ask the class.
Yep.
Okay.
And then when they're all jumping up and when they're raising their hand, oh, put the money up, and then we'll send Bill around to collect the money.
But
I'll use your revolver to illustrate that revolver on that you keep.
It's actually an automatic, it's not a.
But it would be fun to present each of the options that his friends gave them, before we say, oh, this would be a really good idea to do this and, make it interesting.